How does that prove the Darwinian worldview? I agree bacteria existed in the past and there's prehistoric.
You have to liken it a bit to a crime scene. If a detective comes to a crime scene, the criminal has long gone. All he does is picks up bits of evidence to build up a picture of what happened.
I don't mind that. And you see what that is, that's speculation. Because say if a murder took place in this park today and we had no cameras, everyone would say, I think it was this guy, I think it was that guy, and we'd all disagree. And then we'd try to add up the clues. The difference when it comes to human origins is we're not talking about a murder which took place now, we're talking about something which happened 3.8 billion years ago.
It's the same principle whether it's a crime that took place recently or evolution. We look at the facts of the evidence that is present now. We can then derive hypotheses that explain the facts. In evolution, we can then test those hypotheses to derive theories that make testable predictions.
No one has any idea how life started.
Nobody has any idea. We don't know for certain, but we have very good ideas how life started. Here is a selection of videos on YouTube that should get you started.
When we talk about something retrospective in history, all we can do is speculate. We can't say for sure this is what happened.
Can you say for sure that this happened? Were you there at the time? Let's imagine a scenario where Subboor reports a burglary. Officer, I think I've been burgled while I was out spewing nonsense in Speaker's Corner. Were you there? No, I wasn't. Well then, it's just speculation, isn't it? But the door is broken and things are missing. It's just speculation. There's somebody else's footprints in my carpet. It's just speculation. So what do you think happened? Let's gather all the facts, and then we can see what is the most likely situation. Now do you understand, Subboor?
What's the closest relation to the whale? It's the hippopotamus of all creatures. And it shows that the whale evolved from a creature that lived on land and went back to the sea.
But sir, that's a speculation. How do you know that?
You keep saying it's a speculation.
Were you around 7 million years ago or 50 million years ago when it happened? You're not that old.
No humans were around at the time, but they didn't need to be. The evidence is there throughout the fossil record showing changes in morphology over time. A quick search on YouTube will show many videos that will more than adequately demonstrate this to you.
I don't disagree with evolution. I disagree with the Darwinian history of life.
One to describe evolution.
No, he was not. Evolution goes back to the Hindus about 2,500 years ago. Now what they did, the Brahmins and the Vedantic philosophers, they came up with this sort of idea about change. And then Aristotle, Pythagoras and all the rest, and throughout history, even in the Enlightenment period, we had all these people describing different evolutionary models. All Darwin did is he gave us the mechanism of natural selection working on variations. That's what I disagree with.
There was a long recognition that species changed over time. Darwin proposed common descent and a branching tree of life based on the idea of natural selection. He did not know about genes, and it was only later that genetics was combined with natural selection. He doesn't explain why he disagrees with it, or if he has any alternative.
And what I also disagree with is his history of evolution, which is from one cell, everything came. I think that's a grand claim and it needs some evidence.
There is plenty of evidence there. A simple search will show many videos that show the evidence for evolution at a basic level, even from your favourite Richard Dawkins. What you are doing is tuning your skepticism. You are overplaying any evidence that fits with your presupposed narrative and downplaying any evidence that is contrary to your presupposed narrative.
25% of the DNA in a cow is identical to that of a snake. Why is that?
Because they've got a common origin, way back billions of years ago.
Okay, what scientists have discovered is it's actually due to a process known as jumping genes. Nothing to do with common ancestry. So there's two different things here.
You've said this before, I've never heard of this.
You can read about it. It's Google.
Jumping genes.
Jumping genes.
In this video, there is actually quite a bit of truth to Subboor's claim. Jumping genes, better known as horizontal gene transfer, is movement of genetic material between organisms other than the vertical transmission from parent to offspring. There are postulated mechanisms for this, often involving viral infections. So a parasite infected lizards and snakes and jumped from there into cows and sheep carrying these so-called jumping genes. This doesn't mean that genetics cannot be used to support common ancestry, as these genes are only a part of the genome, and similar species show similar DNA, including these genes. I will link this article in the description. This next video is not worthy of a full analysis, so I will just add a comment.
There is the how explanation and there is the why explanation. Science answers how. So when it comes to the water cycle, science will explain evaporation, condensation, all of that. That's the how. But there's a why, there's a metaphysical, and that is the creator. There's a creator behind that process. So likewise, when it comes to the Big Bang, the beginning of the universe, right? The how, I leave that to science. The why, I believe fundamentally everything, including the universe, including us, was created by God. Two different explanations.